It has been far too long, my friends.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Hopefully things will be stable tonight and we'll be able to do our show.
Yes, hey everybody, welcome to From My Mother's Basement, the show that celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And Michael, you are in a different location than you usually are.
Yes, I'm talking to you from not so sunny Atlanta.
How is it on the opposite coast?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'm here for some family business, but things are going okay so far.
Good. Glad to hear that. Aside from dealing with family business, have you been able to see any movies as of late?
Not yet. Well, okay, not out in the theaters.
Okay.
I haven't. Obviously, I have seen Age of Ultron. You knew that. I did, however, see the first movie in our list.
Yes.
That is awesome, and I'm so glad it's being developed into a major film.
Of course, we're talking about Kung Fury. This thing that started off as a Kickstarter for the ultimate homage to everything 80s action movies, and just took that to the nth level. It was insane.
That arcade machine was awesome.
The one that would flip people off as it was shooting.
Well, that's how it shot.
Yeah. And of course, the whole thing with the little tiny dog too, and I was like, "Oh man!"
And it had to put a quarter in it, so that was awesome.
I really do like the fact. I mean, let's talk about the special effects real quick because one, they were really well done. Two,
well, they were deliberately cheesy. Is what they were.
Exactly. The thing is, I love the bit to try to hide some of the fact that it's on green screen. You know, all of it was the whole tracking bit.
For scene changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. Anybody who remembers dealing with VHS remembers those.
Oh yes, the tracking errors.
Anybody who was born after 1990 probably has no idea what that was all about.
Probably not.
Yeah. Oh well. The acting was over the top cheesy,
as it should be.
And dude, even like the music, the fact that they were able to get David Hasselhoff into this,
that honestly doesn't surprise me at all, because Hoff's got a sense of humor like that.
True.
But the thing with Thor and the whole I was like, oh my god, really okay.
Well, all the little bits, like including adding the ad for the car phone in the middle of the video.
It was a lot. It was cheesy as hell, but it was fun.
Oh, it really was.
What was I said to you earlier? That it was so cheesy. Not even the entire state of Wisconsin or the town of Cheddar in the UK could make up that much cheese.
But like you said, it was actually being shopped around. I think actually picked up for a feature-length version.
Well, basically what happened with it is the guy did it. He did I heard it was like a minute and a half teaser. And that's what did his Kickstarter.
Right.
And it caught the attention of one of the current cast members of SNL.
Who plays...
who came on and played Adolf.
Right.
And then through that and through the connections, someone's picked it up to try and develop it to a full-length picture. Right now it's only 33 minutes.
Well, yes. And the nice thing about it is that the creator, I think it was Mark Sanborn is his name, he was asked, so is the full-length feature film... an adaptation of what we've seen, and he goes, no, that story's over. It's gonna be something completely new with all the characters. So I'm like,
well, obviously,
will we have more Triceracop? Is all I'm wondering. Will we have more Triceracop?
I like Triceracop. Triceracop was cool.
Well, he has such little screen time, but apparently when it was screened at a Cannes Film Festival, that was like the crowd favorite. Then again, it kind of works well. Why wouldn't it be?
Also, where Cannes is, I'm sure they've had their fill of Viking chicks with,
Yeah.
Although the one with a friggin' Vulcan cannon was awesome.
So much fun.
Cool.
I came across something just I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, that there was a indie game company who worked with Sanborn and actually created a video game for Kung Fury.
I saw the link for that on YouTube. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw it. It
plays like you're playing an old school CRT. Like it just zooms into a CRT screen. It's kind of like it's very simplistic in the sense of gameplay, because it's, aside from the 2D action,
it's classic side scroller, right?
Right, but it's like it was like Jump Kick or One Hit Assassin or something like that, where literally the only buttons are left attack, left attack, right attack, and that's it. But it's actually entertaining and challenging. You can get it for free on iOS and Android devices. You can pay to remove the ads. They also had it. It's currently on Steam for like $2, so instant buy. Yeah, it's so much fun.
I will have to check it out.
But that's not the only bit that's going on. We had some crazy stuff, and now we had some sad stuff. Disney, you've been doing great for so long. The first sign of a stumble, why do you decide to take such drastic measures?
Yeah. Basically, earlier, it was either late last week or early this week. I don't remember exactly which off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Disney decided to, for now anyway, pull the plug on Tron 3. Not a lot of people not happy. There's already a change.org petition up to try and get it back. Yep. I plan on signing it. Mm-hmm. I recommend
it's already over 33,000 signatures on it.
Yeah, I mean, the movie. What I don't get is, how could they say it wasn't successful when it made, if its budget was a purported 170 million, it made over 400 million worldwide on its run.
Yep. And
it's still making DVD sales and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
what's odd is that the way they're trying to explain this, and I guess you can understand from their usual business talk. They said that they never greenlit the movie, but it was in development for some time, and their decision to cancel production on Tron 3, or never greenlighted basically, was because the studio could not find a place on its crowded slate all the way up to 2018. I call bull. You can have more than one.
I call bullshit. You can rent. There's more than enough sound stages.
Well, I think honestly, it's
80% of that shit's going to be green screen anyway.
It's not even that. I honestly think it's got to be more about release slate. They don't want competing Disney films on the same weekend. I'm like,
well, that's Disney, true. It's everything Marvel right now, so
true. But at the same time, come on, Disney, your fan base is so diverse that you can have people. If you put like a Marvel movie and Tron 3 on the same weekend, I can guarantee you about 95% of the viewers will go to both.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. And then if they ever brought back Electronica, it'd be go to Marvel movie, go to Tron 3, then go to California Adventure for the Return to Electronica.
Hell yeah. I would be down with that.
Oh, well. It'd be great.
So hopefully they'll get their shit together and bring it back.
Yeah. We'll see. A lot of people are wondering because of the so-called stumble of Tomorrowland. I absolutely loved Tomorrowland. It stumbled a little bit in itself in the third act, but great story, great effects. It was fun to watch, really fun to watch. But they were expecting like 50, 60 million, I should say, for opening weekend. It only made like, I think, 33 million. Now, here's the thing, though. It had a budget of 140 million. If you take in the domestic and foreign markets right now, it's just under that. It's made 135 million dollars. They're going to make their money back. They're going to start making a profit on this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to find it really funny if the failure of Tron Legacy outperforms Tomorrowland. I will just laugh. It's like, don't get me wrong, I like Clooney, I really do, but
oh well, it is what it is. Let's stick with some Disney for a bit. We're gonna move on to one of their.
They are our sponsor, after all.
They are. We can't go a single episode without talking about them or one of their brands that they own.
Properties.
Yeah. Marvel. They've been doing great with the movies. They've been doing great with their TV series. They've been doing fantastic so far with their Netflix series, starting with Daredevil, which was
great.
Oh, it was fantastic. I loved it. Cannot wait for the remainder of essentially what they're calling Netflix Phase 1. And so obviously Marvel's already looking at Phase 2. And so far this is currently a just rumor, but it actually sounds fairly plausible. It's looking like for Phase 2 of their Netflix series, we may be looking at a series for Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Blade. The Punisher, I think, is the most feasible out of all of them, given what they've been doing with Daredevil.
Well, Blade's doable too, and they'll probably replace Snipes, but I'm sure Snipes would come back in a heartbeat.
Oh, I'm sure he would as well. I mean, was it TNT or TBS actually had a Blade TV series for a while? I saw like half an episode of the pilot, and that's about it.
Yeah, that died. That was horrible.
Exactly. Ghost Rider, I think, as long as they try to steer away from the Nicolas Cage version of past movies.
Well, avoid the Nicolas Cage version and don't do what's currently in the comic. I mean, and don't get me wrong.
You don't want Ghost Rider driving the Charger?
I love the Charger. I just don't. There's just the guy who wrote it and did most of the art for it is the same guy who did People Show.
Right.
And I like him. I've met him. You know, we've worked with him. He's a great guy. But I was not that impressed with his Ghost Rider concept. Now that being said, they'll take it where they take it.
True.
But I mean, you think Ghost Rider, you think that iconic motorcycle.
True. The iconic motorcycle, the flaming skull head, and of course the chain. Well,
they kept the skull head in the Charger version.
Yes.
But it's let's finish up Phase 1, because the only thing that's out for Phase 1 is Daredevil.
Right. They still have what?
They have Iron Fist. More... They have Luke Cage, who is Iron Fist.
Yes.
And then they have Jessica Jones, and supposedly the Defenders.
Yes, that's what I'm looking forward to see. I mean, they've already proven they can do these team up, specials, I guess you can call them, with Avengers on the big screen. And they've already proven they can do fantastic work with streaming with Daredevil. Mix those two together to get the Defenders, I think it'd be one hell of a ride.
Oh yeah, it could be awesome. But we need to get the other stories out and establish the characters.
Very true.
Also, what's the latest on Black Panther? We've seen stills from it. We know it's in production.
Yes.
We've seen, I can pretty much guarantee Andy Serkis is going to be in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this whole bit in Avengers 2 was essentially, aside from many other things, a lead-up, not to Civil War, but to Black Panther. And now there's a rumor right now about Martin Freeman's character. So
he can't be Black Panther. I'm sorry.
No. Martin Freeman's already confirmed he's going to be playing, or he's going to be in Civil War. There's also the rumor he can possibly show up in Black Panther as well. The rumor being right now that Martin Freeman will actually be playing the Prime Minister of England. Which I think he could pull off, a badass Prime Minister. And the thing that people are, or theorists I should say, are pointing towards is the fact that in Avengers 2, mild spoiler, there's a scene where Claw is talking to someone on the phone and says, let's get back to what we were talking about, Minister. Or I'll put you on hold for a second, Minister. Something like that.
Yeah.
So I could see that tie-in maybe with England or the UK basically trying to start buying some vibranium so they can actually defend themselves against the mutant onslaught, or I'm sorry, the enhanced people onslaught, whatever you want to call it.
That can make Captain Britain,
Dude, that'd be amazing. I like Captain Britain.
I like Captain Britain too. So.
Oh well, so we'll have to see what happens with all of that. I did want to talk about this. I know you did as well. It's been a few weeks since it came out, but it's still impressive nonetheless. We're starting to get that first look at some of the characters in the upcoming Warcraft movie. Right now we have Robert Kaczynski's character.
Detailed shots of Orgrim.
Yeah.
And not just in studio. I mean, you could a lot of CG people would be like, oh, well, he's low lights to hide all the flaws, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah?
Here
Look
you
at
go.
This. I see your complaint and I say, F you. Look at this.
Like, when I first saw it, I honestly thought I was looking at a model. Like, when
I thought it was a sculpt. I really did. It's incredible.
I'm just very curious to see. I mean, first off, you already have Blizzard, which are masters of storytelling. They're also
perfectionists.
They are.
I mean, that's why this movie hasn't already come out.
Yeah, they like to take their time on it. But you have their talent for story, their talented graphics artists, their cinematic artists. Mm-hmm. You have them team up with ILM.
Mm-hmm. And Legendary.
Yeah, that's... it's one of those that I don't want to say how could it lose, because then it's obviously going to fail. But
yeah.
with all
How
of
could
these
it lose?
great
We've seen
parts,
Hollywood do a lot of stupid shit.
it's kind of like the reverse producers. We've picked all the wrong parts. Where did we go right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see at this point. I really want to see this like moving. I mean, obviously we're eventually going to see it because this comes out just a little over a year from now. It's currently slated for June 10th, 2016. For release. Way too long, but
yeah, way too long. I've been waiting for this movie for 10 years.
I know. I haven't waited for it that long, but I have to admit, one of the greatest parts of playing World of Warcraft is the lore, the story. And they can grab, some of just a whiff of that and throw that into this movie. Just enough to get even the general audiences, like, involved and, like, interested in it. They keep on saying that, Warcraft is losing, tons of players every month.
Well, that's because of Farmcraft.
No, that's true.
The Garrisons are what are doing a lot of that.
But just imagine if they actually were to pull this off, how many more people might come back or add more to it.
Oh yeah, totally. And if they could do that, coupled with, whenever they announce I mean, I'm sure they'll do it at this year's BlizzCon, but whenever they announce the current or the next expansion, and hopefully the taming down of Garrisons.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with all of that.
It wasn't enough to make me quit the game, but it was enough to make me play it a lot less often.
Well, you also have things like Final Fantasy XIV to play, and PSO2, and
Garrison. Well, PSO2 I've been having a hell of a time getting into, but Garrison Craft is a lot of the reason I refired up my Final Fantasy XIV more often.
I see. All right, shall we move over to comics real quick?
Sure.
Yes. Back to our sponsors, Disney, with Star Wars. The comics have been really, really good. The stories have been great.
The art's been nice.
Is so nice. And at the end of the latest issue, they decided to throw. To some people, it's a really big surprise for a major character's backstory, Han Solo. The final scene basically brings a woman down from the Millennium Falcon and basically introduces herself as Sana? It's Sana Solo. She is claiming to be Han Solo's wife. Never really, don't get me wrong here, but Han Solo was never a confirmed bachelor, was he?
Well, no, they never said he was. They never said he wasn't. That was always a lot of people presumed because of his swashbuckling ways and whatnot that that he was, but it was never actually. Now, that being said, there may have been an extended universe book that did say it that I haven't read.
But most of the EU books that were already.
But pretty much everything. I hadn't seen anything that said it was. And then he fell in love with Leia, and of course they got married. But and
considering in the comic book, this scene also takes place with Leia right there, so we don't know anything about this woman, about her backstory.
That makes.
Which makes me wonder: is this scene just there for the water cooler moment? Because maybe next issue they turn around and say that, oh, they were never officially married, or she's mentally deranged and thinks that they're married, or maybe Han Solo really is a bit of an adulterer. I have no idea.
Well, the fact that this also, he hasn't done anything with Leia yet, but
at this point,
the fact that this takes place between New Hope and Empire. Wow, you throw a big old wrench.
Exactly. So, like, a lot of people are just like, "How? What?"
And they didn't do it in the ghoul Stephen Moffat way either.
No, they didn't. They kind of just threw it out there. Like, some people throw a pebble. Some people try to give you a hint of stuff. No, this was just throwing a boulder into the
screw
river.
A boulder. They just dropped a VW bug in there, and not the kind that float. Have you, speaking of wrenches and monkey works and stuff, topic hop, are you current on Doctor Who?
Yes, I am.
You know who Missy is then?
Yes.
That was incredible.
That's right. You just recently got caught up on all that.
It was a couple weeks ago, but yeah. It was about the time your computer went Tango uniform, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I really love what they did with
the return of the master in a very unique way.
Remember, bananas.
Now, my question for you is, are you fully caught up now?
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't seen the Christmas. Oh no, wait a minute. I did see the Christmas
with all the Cybermen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not Christmas. That was the last one in the regular season series.
Right, that was the episode where Missy was revealed.
Okay, there was a clip that came out. I think it was just before production of the Christmas episode. With Missy. I forget the actress's name. Something Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sitting there just talking to the camera in your full outfit and whatnot, just sitting there eating an apple, whatnot. And then for some reason she decides to start cutting it, and then she uses her other hand to quickly put a piece in her mouth. Mm-hmm. And there's just a little flash right here, and she has a vortex manipulator on her wrist. She's already confirmed for coming back for the next season.
Well, yeah. I knew they didn't kill her because she don't. No, you're not. I'm sorry. The friend's cat's trying to walk across the screen. Yeah. They already. I had another person tell me, oh, they killed her. Actually, it was my mom. I was talking to my mom about it yesterday, mm-hmm. And she's like, but they killed her. I'm like, no, they didn't. If you look at it, the portal, what happens to her is a different color and a different effect.
Exactly.
So she portaled somewhere.
Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is I'm still looking forward to Doctor Who. It's still a lot of fun. And the fact that Disney XD is actually now showing Doctor Who episodes, and they're starting with the Tennant era. Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
Disney struck that deal, so all the old stuff from, I think, not from 2005, but 2006, starting at the Tennant era on, they're going to be showing. Wow. Which means a whole new slew of Doctor Who fans.
Oh, yeah.
And hooking them when they're young, too.
Yeah.
We watched, Jess and I watched one episode when it was on XD. It was the one with all the, it was in New York with all the cat nurses.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there was a single scene that was edited.
Cool.
Which is nice. Shall we jump back to the comics bit real quick, or?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll probably have to wrap up moderately soon here. So
okay, that's not a problem. I did want to bring this up. You had DC doing their convergence thing, which, let's face it, really,
It's not going very well.
No, I mean, I know it was a cover so they can move from New York to California, but Secret Wars just keeps on getting better and better.
Yeah, everything I've read in Secret Wars so far has been very impressive. Mm-hmm. Especially in the first book, with speaking of the Punisher, when Kingpin basically puts out the invite to the end of the world party, guys, and then he walks out, like, can't take it with you. So what am I going to do with all these bullets?
That was just perfect, absolutely perfect end of the Punisher. Well, there's still, I think, 5 issues to go in Secret Wars. I think 3's just came out recently.
Secret Wars proper, and then there's all the tie-ins.
Right, there's Battle World Last Days. There was another setup as well.
A versus X, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I want to read the one where Modok is an assassin. Oh, the cover is literally just short, stumpy Modok sitting there with a giant sniper rifle.
There's one of the episodes that's going to be a Scotty episode, and it's going to be A versus X, Secret Wars version. Oh, and it's going to be all the Marvel babies.
Oh, that's going to be great. Love it. But I did want to bring it up because a lot of people called it, yes, Marvel is essentially rebooting, or they like to call it themselves, relaunching the Marvel comic universe. And to showcase that, they have this new tag phrase, all new, all different. But now they have this image here, which has some interesting variations to some of your popular characters there.
Female Wolverine?
Yes.
Or is that X-23?
It's X-23 in a Wolverine-esque suit, because just to the right of her, to the right, is the continuation apparently of the Old Man Logan series. Apparently, he survived Battle World. and can continue on in the Marvel universe. That's going to be interesting. I think the one that looks the least changed out of all of this has to be Strange. But then again, he's carrying a giant battle axe, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some interesting designs in there. I'll be curious to see how this all turns out.
Indeed.
I don't know. It's basically one of those things that I know that these massive events should be drawing more people into comics.
Well,
DC not so much. Marvel has me curious enough to actually start hitting my local comic shop.
Well, I mean, it's, you know that Marvel's doing something right when George from Hypno is actually tells me flat out, yeah, there's nothing I can be mad at Marvel about in this. That's a big deal coming from George. So
that actually is high praise.
Yeah.
I do have to say, going back to Secret Wars real quick, I think it's in issue 3. There's actually I think the best look we've seen of Doom's disfigured face ever. That
I haven't read 3 yet, so
do so. I'm thoroughly enjoying this to the point where I need to go back and find the last I want to say 12 issues of Avengers, which do the whole end of time bit that was the prequel to it's called Secret Wars, because I really want to see how this all came about. I'm so far behind on Avengers lore, so yeah. We'll have to see what happens with all that. Besides, given the fact that your wife works at a comic shop, you probably have better access to it than I do.
Just a little.
Just a bit.
When she brings home her homework.
That's some interesting homework there, yes.
Well, she has to be able to talk about it with people who come in to buy the books.
Very true.
So she ends up reading a bunch of titles that she's not going to buy.
But now she knows about them, though.
She needs to know the story, so...
All right, well, shall we just wrap things up at this point? I know we're making a short episode this week, because it's getting pretty late over there on the East Coast.
Well, yeah, and we will still hopefully try and do a show next week as well. Whether I will still be here or not is up in the air.
Yes,
but
I like to thank my computer for actually not dying this time. So hopefully in the next week and a half or so, I'll have the remainder of the parts purchased. So I'll actually have a brand new system. So
sweet.
So,
well, hopefully, if I am here next week, I'll be doing it on something other than my MacBook.
All right.
My 2009 MacBook.
Hey, you still have a MacBook. That's all that counts. All right, everybody. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out, as always. You can catch us on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Pacific. You can catch past episodes on YouTube. And, of course, you can follow us on the social media networks of your choosing out there. And,
yep.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. For From Mother's Basement, I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And we will see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.